Good morning, fellow Ambazonia, or whatever time it may be, wherever you are. Today, na Tuesday, number 6th day for this month of June 2022. My name na Capo Daniel, una own countryman, Mr. No Connie Lukong. Odan come once more with another episode of our daily podcast, a program where it bring una the truth, it bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for Helebui as we work with this journey to our freedom, to the independence of Ambazonia. Good people of Ambazonia, I be very impressed with the amount of messages I get them for all of our people them, where they inquire say why today daily podcast in over come out. As una know very well, I be done tell una say this struggle no be just for social media. As much as we inform each other, inspire and encourage each other for march on towards victory, we must always do the hard work of diplomacy when at the most important battlefield for Ambazonia. As I began tell una, we don't get a very big opportunity for come out and discuss our struggle and the future of our country with a lot of international partners within the European Union. I began tell una say I will always be transparent with una, because some of these things, the way they hide them for una, actually there is no need to hide it. Not only for Ambazonia, where diplomatic engagement them, they hide them for their people them. No, there is no struggle where they have international engagement and they don't inform their people, including when they are going to dialogue, negotiate, or meet with third parties. They will always explain to their people, maybe keeping out the details, which are not very necessary. But our population deserve to know when leaders are making moves on their behalf. So I've informed our people that is why I'm not available as usual to provide the daily briefing to our people, updates, and to inspire our people to march on to victory. Today, we go start now for inside Mbengwi, where the La République du Cameroon sponsored so-called divisional officer, where he be from a transfer from Cambe, Mr. Njida Lawrence Chair. He don't start for intimidate our population. If you don't come talk, say don't ban all store them where they need to open on Monday for disobey ghost town and for go against the popular and general will of our people them, where they ask for independence through the Monday ghost town. He don't talk, say all the shop them where they not open for ghost town day on Monday, they go seal the shop them. Mr. Njida Idan be always famous for put our population under hardship and use illegal means for suppress, terrorize them in order for them to give up their resistance against Cameroon and their demand for self-determination for independence. I want to make our population know say that they are right under international laws and under international obligation and under natural law for demand which we them want them, for close their shop them anytime we them want them, and for open their shop them anytime we them want them. No law, no day for inside even Cameroon their own constitution. We give any government official power for force people them for open their shop. So it first of all be illegal for any Cameroon government official for say he go force people them, me them open their shop or punish people them, say them close their shop on a specific day, whether not for protest or not. This action them it be illegal. Jindada always be person where be willing for use terrorism, judicial intimidation, and even the threat of death, seizing of property to go against the people, their demand for self-determination. And I think we don't bring them for Insa Bamenda. From Cambe, place where you come off for day, it be the torture people, kill people, disappear lot of villagers them for simply for being connected with Ambazonian struggle, for being vocal against Cameroon policies them, colonial policies them for Insa Cambe. So our people that don't be put on notice, say this criminal will never stop until he will be stopped. He is worse than Patrick Ekema because he's a command officer within the Cameroon colonial structure. And our people must take all measure to put an end to the imminent threat he is to our general population. We'll be very happy, say, the few shop them way he be select them for inside Mbengwi, for target them, can seal their shop them, say they not open for Monday. All other shop them for inside Mbengwi, they don't come in solidarity for also close their shop them. But I do want to tell our people and say, they no need for close their shop on Tuesday because they fear or they want challenge or in solidarity with these Cameroon terrorists. Make all of them open their shops and save our public and continue to observe the Monday ghost town. For the shop, the way this Mr. Njida idan closer, me the people then gather courage, then cut that lock because it no get no authority from one of a constitution on a or any power for close any trader is shop. Now una right, una stand for una right, una fight for una right. And I call on all the Ambazonian forces them, for instance Mbengwi and in Momo in general, for prioritize the dealing with this threat with this man Idan Brigham for inside Momo. Fellow Ambazonians, for other matters which are very important and crucial, as I began tell our people them, una just imagine the amount of research we do for learn way to way be happen for inside Fumban conference and for inside the parliament for Onugu, that way our pioneer founding fathers them, they be decide for come out led by our Endele. So it be important, make we learn a lot about way to way we do now, so that it will give other Ambazonians and our public that power for scrutinize and uphold or get higher standard for expect them for their leaders as we go forward. So it be important the messages and why they put them out about our engagement for Canada. And before I get into this, there are other issues where I want to bring them for attention. As we know very well, I be come out, I be make some statement them, and it then bring some feedback from the IG care for Siseko own faction. When I remember from our last podcast, I talked how the Siseko they be declare independence and then it be disappear, and how it be also promise our people the same way they make the protest for Independence Day come out, the United Nations will come appear for they can support them. So they don't make clarification why I need to put them for out there because those information are not correct. According to their information, that has always been the lie being told by Dr. Cho Ayaba, and he has said so many times in his speech. You remember, Dr. Cho Ayaba come against the decision to announce our independence when Siseko declared it, and those reasons were the reasons he put forth. And they have said that Siseko was available for every Ambazonian when the people protest and the killing was going on, and he was making statement. For this past year, the AIG, their officials have been repeatedly putting these things out there. And it is unfortunate that I've never checked it, but we have always taken it like that. And Siseko have never explained himself, but they have clarified to me that that was not true. Siseko was rich, was available for every other leader. And the story that Ayabacho have always said that Siseko disappeared when people were killed is all completely lies. And the issue where they say that the Siseko instructed our people that when they march, the United Nations is going to appear and help them to declare and recognize our independence was also lied. And the issue that they said that Siseko was saying that people should go to Boya, he will appear there and he will march with them, that all are those made-up stories by the AIG members to tarnish him. But I think that is a long story that our people know already. But these are also clarification that I think is important for me to put out because it was included in my podcast. The issue also that Siseko was training soldiers in Nigeria was incorrect. The information about soldiers and the video of the ARA that were shown to be soldiers being trained by Siseko were actually soldiers who were in Dadi. Those were soldiers in Dadi that were being also trained and sponsored by the DOD. It was not in Nigeria. Siseko have not trained soldiers in Nigeria. That was incorrect. But the DOD had recruited and was training boys also in Dadi. And the ADF also had people who were also there doing training with many Ambazonian groups. I want to make that clear to our population. So as Abidan Teuna, each time a false statement is made about very consequential issues, I must clarify so that our people are not deceived or are not blindsided. This has nothing to do with the AIG or me. It has everything to do with our people's right to have proper information so that they can be able to assess situation and make up their mind about our liberation struggle. I don't know why the AIG will be making this issue a primary issue to lie about or to cover up about. But I think it is obvious to everybody the reason why. But I will be there to let our people know the truth. The first thing I will say before I get to that is that Dr. Cho Ayaba, when he accepted my resignation, he made the initial publication, and in that publication, official publication, he stated two things. One, the reason why I resigned. He said it's because we have divergence. It means we have different in opinion. And two, he says that I will continue to pursue my activism as usual or as before, which means that two things I had told them, my plan to continue with to create my own organization and how it will be done. Those things I have briefed him. I have briefed all the serious members within the AGOFC, so they knew about it. The second thing is after I left, I said nothing bad or negative about them, but they choose to come out first to challenge me using Cecilia Mabo, that Capo Daniel, why did you create your own group? Like I didn't have the right or they were not informed. But I think that was to set the stage to come back to blackmail me in order to cover up their own mistake, which is unfortunate because I always had hope that if they were what I expected them to be, they would have accepted their mistakes or at least the differences and look for a way for us to collaborate and move forward. But we know that did not happen. And Lucas Asu have come out there to speak for the organization and put out complete made-up stories. The first is that my resignation and my policy differences with them is because I was being influenced by other groups within Ambazonia. That is wrong and that is false. The second, they went from saying that to say that I was being influenced by Canadian government, that the Canadian government have hired me. That is false. They went there to start to lie about my presentation. I was not the lead there. They moved from there and now they are putting my picture and the picture of my wife on social media with a cross on my head targeting me for killing. The latest one was that I was not an AGOFC member, and that before that one, they were saying that I had embezzled money, and their only proof is the receipt that I received money. How that is a proof, God alone knows. But our people should know that it can only be two things. Ayabacho probably was lying of the reason, or Lucas is lying on behalf of the organization. The two of them cannot be true. And we know, of course, that the first one was the right thing, and our people should know that that is the reason why I resigned, because this is very important. It goes to the most important part of why we are fighting this war in the first place. And I will explain to you again once more with some more details about what happened that led to my resignation, which I believe is the reason why they are blackmailing me, to make sure that you don't hear or you don't know. And it's important that you hear and you know, so that in the future, no other leader will make the same mistake. I go talk the one now for pidgin. The first thing I say, time will be start that meeting. The first time, all thing it be work out very, very fine till the last day. We spend about 2 days. We'll be get, I think, 3 or something day, if I never check back my note, for the last session. We'll be need for sign the document and for conclude all way to go down work hard for. We'll be need for prepare 2 things. One, will be the go for commit for negotiation and give Canada the mandate for mediate between both sides. Now the big achievement that will be done get them. Number 2, the second document, it will be now one for confidence building measure, because now we'll be the one move the struggle from fighting into negotiation table. So we need to give something for the public, me and no say the thing in a true thing where it already happened. That confidence building measure them. Now La Republique du Cameroon, they be proposed. Say they go do prisoner release and they go do ceasefire. Now them be proposed, I'm not be we. And I will get into details on how the whole process went on so that our people should know. And for anybody who might be worried about classification, no, these are not things that are classified. The only document we agreed there about confidentiality is to keep the thing tight lips until the thing is announced and made public, so that we will have time to do our work properly without interference or politicizing the process. So the only thing we accepted to be confidential was to preserve that period, and that period is over and that thing has been lifted. So but some things are still not worth putting outside, and I have not yet put any of those things, and I don't think it warrants it. So this is what happened. For the last day, I think the last 2 days, we were stuck with 2 things. We had agreed already about commitment to negotiation and the confidence building measures. So now was to conclude it. We were supposed to deal with the issue on how will ceasefire happen and how will prisoner release go ahead. But the position of the Hague of C, which was also pushed to the other leaders, was that we will not discuss about confidence building measures until we have an agreement or sign the agreement for a commitment for negotiation and mandates to the Canadian government. So we came to the floor. That was what hold us the whole last session. La Republique was saying that they know I will talk and for talk me Oman understand. La Republique be the talk say the one make we first deal with the modalities them for ceasefire and confident and prisoner release first before we go sign that document for negotiation. So they will negotiate and then give Canada their mandate. But we will be talking our own position be being say they must first sign the commitment for negotiation and mandate. So we day for day the whole long day will not sleep. Will be the week of morning time like 4 o'clock would already start. It finish Sute after almost midnight or after midnight. So it no be easy. We fight for these two things. La Republique the only talk say we no fit the signed document where una no discuss about una own reciprocity, because for that confident building measure now La Republique be the offer up and Ambazonia be just need na for also show some confident building measure for toxic that accept them and then be willing for do them. So, and it be been a thing there for a favor. So, Oma be the talk say, after all, prisoner release now, we're not supposed for one time because now we're get people for prison. Secondly, they define now for our country. So, for ceasefire, when a La Republique, they go ceasefire, it go instead being a good thing for una. So, that thing where Oma be knowing instead now for a good and a La Republique be offer them. So, naturally, we for the one for accept them. But we be talk say, no, we no go accept them. We no go even talk about them first. Until La Republique go sign, say, they don't commit for negotiate and they go sign, say, they don't give Canada the mandate. So, a BRCB will get a lot of discussion. We will fight that part. Lava sute, you know, it makes sense. They be talk. Even we will be delegate. They will talk for our people. Our organization will be the where they be the represent, where they be saying we for the on behalf of our country, because this was not about the organization but for the country. We tell them say, but the two will the for floor here. Not to no go move until we discuss this other issue them for ceasefire and prisoner release. La Republique no will move anything. So we become for the last minute we be see say if we no solve them, we wait for move forward in no day. The Canadian they be bring some very good idea where it be solve the problem. They talk say, okay, if not so we will sign that document first for commitment and negotiation, for commitment and mandate, and then froze them. That means they will sign them, but they will pretend like say they never sign them. Then the Canadian they will hold that document only them. They no go give them for any side. Then we will fit now talk about the things and way La Republique want to talk and when a prisoner release and ceasefire. Then when we sign the document, then when all the document they don't sign, then we will consider and now say all the signature then be valid. So now the so we can break that deadlock. But it be an easy battle and we'll be fighting for ways it will be unnecessary. During that time, all the issue them for ceasefire also I be supposed to present them for the other groups and because they were not aware about Ambazonian ceasefire. I be being the person where I be compile the final document, prepare everything for that ceasefire because we be done already prepare the things and for how things they could do for day. So after we be done make that agreement, it done reach. We done sign all the document them now. All man done congratulate themselves or we done be happy. Say finally La Republique it done accept would we. So we go negotiate instead for fight and then the Canadian they go mandate they don't be mandated now for facilitate that negotiation. Then we'll go now for how will this thing happen? How will this thing be released so that the negotiation itself can start? Because negotiation will start, the population have to be aware. We now have to go public so that people know that this is what is going and also the international community. And we had 5 big countries where they be the support for background, where then to be the weight. Say once the announcement it will come out, then two now go put their weight for behind. So now it come now, how will this thing happen? Now for the way the fight is start again, when for the way the problem ready is still manifest again. Now we stand for Ambazonia, we're only that the talk say no, they must announce them first before we discuss about the negotiation, the ceasefire thing and the other stuff them. The Cameroon talk say they no fit announce them first. So it be been already it's the same problem again for signing. It come about the same problem for announcement. But the day as a day we can come out where they don't agree say they announce the sequence in Gobina say the Canada government go announce them first, before Ambazonia go announce a second, then La Republic go join announce a number third time. But before we make announcement, La Republic the talk say before the announcement go on come, we must finish for agree on the terms of prisoner release and for ceasefire. Because if we not do and so, for them the whole thing it go be void. So I come out for inside Canada before I want reach for Hong Kong. They be already run can whole cabinet meeting. I asked them for Yabacho say why when a whole cabinet meeting where me when I be do the principal presentation and concerning ceasefire and prisoner release are no day for day. He talks say no na vice president be make other team no worry. They go see organize another meeting. As she don't me quiet. The next thing again, I get a call from the other organization the way they did it for the Ambazonia side. They tell me say they don't create ceasefire group. They talk about how ceasefire go. They will even be confused because all my say would count now on you for do our presentation because now you be in contact with the forces them. But they for the I asked her about you talking a vice president. They do all these things. But the one that say, but why they go remove me for big things and when they be count now on me for present them. So now today I will start to say something the way be normal. The next time I hear na Dr. Chua Yaba he call me. He talks to Capo, I want to clarify something you wait to be agree for Canada. I tell you, say, how you don't know where to agree? I be already tell you. Because the argument will be done get them for the whole 3 days for Canada. Would I agree, say, before we want make this announcement, we need for first finish which way the ceasefire it will be and prisoner release first. Because how you go to talk about announcement where you nobody even know the content, you nobody be finalized. La Republic already be done draw line say, if we go this thing come off outside, then get people the way, then get support for their military. Where then they oppose for this process. If them first hear them, where they never yet see say authority don't come up for poor beer about ceasefire, it never get that back in, they will get chance for get majority within their own Cameroon government for cause wahala where they be even face that problem if even cause coup d'etat because the military if it talks a poor beer don't go sell their country. So poor beer be don't talk say na a red line. They no fit make announcement where they never finish the committee for ceasefire in over Shidong for make the final things them how it will look like. I explain about Yabachu. I say we no fit talk me the Canadian and give that announcement way the Nova Shidong for make Nova Shidong for finalize the ceasefire. And the reason that way the whole thing will be delay because announcement be supposed to come before Christmas. Una the only ton with the thing. So the time it can pass. We'll get our eternal meeting about them. Instead of eternal meeting, they make and clear for that meeting say they no one the ceasefire or the prisoner release, those things are not even important. I talk say, how when I go to talk so na no one ceasefire when are the enemy they offer them? Then talk say they so would they win. So we no fit accept ceasefire now way now our soldier they win. I say true. Now me I the know how thing they have and me I know our capacity. No man no they in touch with our people they let me. I know if it tell and I say that assessment it be correct. We must take the opportunity one. Because before this negotiation one start, they won. The international community make and clear for we say now just a slim chance we'll get them for get this negotiation go through this period. Because if we lost that chance, perhaps we will never have that type of support from them again or the international coalition for push Pobia for get this negotiation. So there is a risk say if we not take the chance, we not say now because we would win now or not, we will lose future possibility of international support. Secondly, Pobia first, then pressurizing for comfort, want for comfort. So the fact say for now, we must seize this opportunity. Get Imi put his signature for ceasefire because once he put that historic signature for ceasefire, that give that dispatch that authority, even if the talks itself fail, the victory alone it be too big for us to ignore them for talk say for make any type of excuses. Benedict Kwai own opinion may be na say the international community will use one for ask and say me and give you 1 billion. Now we would want to go for ceasefire and all these things in first. So all these things and their own assessment will be completely wrong. That's why I tell Una say the hardliners in our struggle are out of touch with reality and out of touch with ground zero. Those are the differences I had with them. Tell them we must get into this negotiate. We must go secure this ceasefire and this deal with La Republic. We cannot afford to lose it. During the stalemate, where will be the argue La Republic be the talk say they no go discuss ceasefire mechanism, they no go discuss commitment and mandate for Canada unless we discuss ceasefire and prisoner release. During that stalemate, at the time where Dr. Cho Ayaba, he tell me, Capo Daniel, when I be tell you say, La Republique, their head for the delegation, he don't pass, get an encounter with me, we don't pass, just salute me for some way, because we get a rule, them, we need to interact with La Republique anyhow. So I be report that incident for you. See this man, for Shasha Monitor, I want to take breakfast. The guy can pass, tap me for my back, say, hey, Capo Daniel, how for you, how everything. In a very nice way. And I just report him like hard. Always make sure I always disclose the issue them. Ayabacho tell me, say, Capo Daniel, take a number, transmit this information to him. I'm giving you people quote by quote. The next time, if La Republique want to make a negotiation on a big issue like this, they should first of all contact him behind and discuss with him before the negotiation. We can actually meet as delegates and things will play out. Those are the direct instructions I had from Dr. Cho Ayaba. So the whole issue was not stalling because of any rationale, but simply because he wants them to meet him behind. I'll leave that for your own conclusion for the reason why he may want that way. But it was inappropriate for me that a leader will not allow delegates or his organization who are on the ground and the other organization to negotiate together, which is what he has promised Ambazonia publicly that he will do and he stands for. But behind, he's doing something else. So those issues were already there. And the intention to sabotage the whole process was there. That was why they were influencing the other leaders to stall. So we went ahead and forced the Canadians to make an announcement, which they had to do because we had to sign an international document with them. And La Republique did not do something unexpected. They did what they had said they would do. They came out to say that that process was non-existent, and those who were now against talks, they now triumph. And the international community, after that, they did what they were saying they would do. They suspended Ayabacho from, they punished Ayabacho from not coming to Canada. The Americans started engaging with Cameroon. The Japanese government released money for reconstruction. The whole process was now going through the sink. And I had to resign at the last stage because we were not trying even to manage to stop the dripping. But instead, the egg of sea was doubling down on it. So I had no choice but to resign, to draw their attention or the attention of the organization to this issue. And I discussed it with all the members there. And all of them were in agreement with me until I left. But that is just how the thing is. I will not allow them to blindside our people about the consequences of what happened to Canada and the ramification it have in our struggle, because it has taken the struggle 7 years backward in terms of what kept this struggle going, which was the international solidarity for us, our plight, because the international community initially had stood on that point that Paul Biya's reaction was bad. The Cameroon was committing crime that have been documented and pushed by the international community, targeted killing, burning down of villages, and everything which you all know. All along, Paul Biya have been telling them that we are power mongers, we are not in touch with reality, we really don't care about our people, and that we are actually a problem. And we have just gone there and demonstrated those same things to them. The way forward, we must acknowledge the change in demography and thinking internationally and the posture of the international community against our struggle. For the most part, they have made clear statement dismissing certain positions that have been taken by the hardliners, that they had never taken such dismissive postures previously. We must know the changing in time, and we must know how we must at least counter these issues with moderate approach that will be able to secure the sympathy of the international community. We are in the course and in the middle of engagement to listen to the international community and make the case for our people. That is exactly what I'm doing right now, and we will have a clear path forward based on our reality, based on our chances for us to secure the aspiration of our people for an independent homeland. Capo Daniel, signing off, looking out for you.